All right, my people, we're starting again. All right, we just gonna click the T, right? Cut the T, I'm sorry. So again, we're gonna start again. All right, so we know we just ate, everybody a little bit tired. We always have that coming when we eat a little bit a lot. So let's see if we can shake some of that food so we can stay awake for the rest of our panelists. So, I'm gonna ask you to stand up if you feel like you want to go to college. Thank you. You may be seated. You can stand up if you are already in college. Thank you. You're gonna stand up if you are taking a gap year. You know what a gap year is? That means you just finished high school, you don't feel like going now, you're taking your time. That's a gap year. Stand up if you finished high school and you're taking a gap year. Stand up if you are still in high school. How about if you are still in junior high? Stand up. Middle school. Clap your hand if you are in middle school, you already know what you're gonna be when you grow up. What you gonna be, my friend?
A doctor.
Very good. Stand up if you are in college and going to healthcare. Stand up if you're in college and going for law. Stand up if you're in college and going for finance. Stand up if you're in college and going for technology. Stand up if you're in college and don't know what you're doing, you're just there. Stand up if you're in college and taking liberal arts classes. Only. Stand up if you're in college and taking education. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, okay. Stand up if you want to teach little children. Yeah. How about high schooler? Stand up if you want to teach older people. Stand up if you're in college but you want to be your own boss. Entrepreneur. Stand up if you are in college and just change your career. Sometimes we do that. Because you can be one of myself. I like to experiment. I did liberal art. Then after I finished liberal art, that's why I want to know what I wanted to do. Liberal art for me was not enough. So whatever I took in liberal art, I tried to be an expert on it. So if I don't satisfy with it, that's okay. It's okay to change your career. Don't ever think that, okay, oh my God, this is my last semester, I have to graduate. But also I always suggest you don't go to college and take something that you can't work on it. Don't do that. You can change your career after. But don't go, let's say, because I said you can take any career you want in college. It doesn't matter. Go where your heart takes you. That's when you're going to learn it better. If you feel you are very good in science, do something with science. Don't go to college because your friend said this is what you need to do. Or you want to stay with the same class as your friend. Don't do that. Go for yourself, go with your heart. That's when you're going to learn. So if you like to sing, even your parents say, oh, there's no money in singing. Sing. But while you're singing, if you make singing as a minor, please find something you know there's going to be money. As long as, I always say to myself, as long as people are having children, I'm going to have a job. Because I'm a teacher. They have to send them to school. I say to other people, as long as people are having, as long as we're living, be a nurse. People are going to be sick. Go to the hospital. So you have to find where the job is at. While I'm saying this, I never liked chemistry. I'm sorry. That's not for me. I do not like hospital. The only reason I go to hospital is because I have to have my children there. Other than that, I will never step my foot in hospital. But I will always say to anybody that's going there, more power to you, I love you. When I come there or I bring family member, you will take care of them and I will trust you. And only one thing also, when you're learning something, learn it good. When you learn something, learn good. How do you know you learn it? When you can pass it to someone else. So if you cannot pass it to someone else, you do not learn it. So if I know that verse, I can teach it to someone else, and that person should be able to repeat it just like me. That's how you learn. So if you can't do that, whatever you said you learned before, you don't know it. And I challenge you to learn everything that you go to school for. Don't waste your time. Don't be a professional student. What do I mean by that? A professional student is a student that keep on going to school, never learn anything, and stay there. And finally, they be like, oh my God, I have to graduate in college. I spent 7 years. I don't even know what it is, but people know I'm going to college. Let me graduate. You graduate with nothing there. Of course, you have the degree. You got the 2.0 that they need to graduate you. With that 2.0, you can't even move on to your master's. That's bad. That's very bad. So again, at least if you are a professional student, come out with 3.0. With the 3.0, you can do your master's. Maybe at that time, you will know what you want. And then you're not wasting all the time again. Then you go 1 year and you finish with a master with what I love best, sing. At least you know there's somebody gonna hire you. But be the best. Come out with the best average, the best that you need. So for me, like I told you before, I really value education. So I value education and I know there's a lot to gain from it, like I told you before. That's something, like I tell you again, no one in the world can take that from you. Not even your parents that gave you birth. They can't take your education away from you. So you can be paralyzed. You can still use your education. That's something no one can get. That's okay to owe them money. It's fine. I don't have $1 million. Do you think I care about the money that I owe them? No. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna pay them, but I'm still making my money right now with what I learn and what I enjoy. So out of all the money, good, thank God for America, they tell you, this is what you can give me. They didn't say, give it to me right away. They said, give me this little piece out of it. As long as you can show them you are willing to pay back, guess what? They're so funny. They give you loan again. You show them like 3-4 months you're paying on time. You're not being delinquent like our brothers was telling us, right? Don't be a delinquent. Pay them. You say you're going to keep your word. Pay them. Then if you come to some difficulties, go to them and say, okay, you know what? I feel like I had to pay you this. I can't. Can I do this? They will show you the way to go. This is how you need to educate yourself. Know the system. Know how to be in the system. Know how to beat the system. Because if you don't beat them, they'll beat you. And they'll do a good job about it. So you need to know how to understand the system. Take your time to know the system and learn it. And save your money. You can do everything you want. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about education. So what is education? Anybody? We've been saying a lot already. So what do you think education is? Can anybody answer that? What word comes to your mind when we say education? Hello?
Study.
Study. Yes. What else? Learning. What else? College. School. Anybody else? Application. Thank you. Let's go, guys. Come on. I know you know it. Information. So yes, all those things are part of education. All of them. There is none of them that's not part of education. So, to get to a quick word about that. Give me a second. Give me a second. So education is really the journey of gaining knowledge, skills, values, and attitude to studying. It's also experiences of being taught. So we have different types of education. We also have formal education. This is what we all used to. This is traditional, so we go to school. This is what your parents are telling you to do all the time. Get up à l'école, petit. Ou va prendre à l'école là. All right? You go into the traditional school. So where you're going to have a teacher and student that go to the same place, and we both learning about the same thing in different classrooms. So, and they go by grade. This is traditional. So you know you go there, if you're in high school, you go in there for 4 years. After 4 years, of course, graduating, you're a diploma. Likewise for middle school, elementary school. So this is a traditional way. This is what we have. And also, besides the traditional, we also have non-formal education that people do. So this one is structured a little bit different. So when it's not traditional school, there's people that go, now it's good. After COVID, a lot of people go online. I did my degree online. I do not understand how I do that. Because that requires structure. You require you to be focused. So if you know you cannot be focusing on a class, why take it online? Why lying to your own self? You know that's required to be structured. They told you you have to send that paper before midnight. So don't wait at 10 o'clock to write 10,000 paper to be sent at 11 o'clock. That's not happening. So you have to structure, you have to focus. When it's come to do that paper, oh my God, I have a paper due at midnight. Where were you? Stop procrastinating. So it's not, they didn't give it to you yesterday to do today. They gave it to you a while ago. And I see that also in high school. Kids in high school, most of them, they said, oh, the teacher comes and said, this homework is due on Friday. They give it to you on Monday. They're preparing you for college because that's what it's gonna be. But you, in your mind, say, oh, Monday, I have till Friday. I have time. Then, Thursday night, after you watch your beautiful show, or you stay on the phone with your friend gossiping about all the little boys that was around there, all the girls that you like in the school. Listen, I have to do that homework. Did you do it yet? You didn't do it? Oh my God, I didn't do mine too. Okay, give me a copy of yours. Give me what you do. I'm gonna finish. I see that all the time. Then, 11 o'clock is not coming, then you're trying to kill yourself to do that work that due tomorrow. And when you have the bad grade, you're blaming the teacher. She doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. That's why they give me that grade. No, but you did not prepare for it. Or you don't do that on exam too. Study your exam 10 minutes before. That's not happening. So take your time. Focus on it. So again, with traditional, we can do that a little bit. But in college, we can't do those things. We don't do those things in college. So you have to focus. You have to make the time. College means do not sleep. That's what I said to students. College, even the student that I teach in college, I said, I'm sorry, you're not going to have a lot of sleep because I didn't have mine. So now you're not going to have yours. College means to spend nights studying, focusing on what you have. You want that A's, right? Then you have to work for it. Because that A is going to turn to money later on. When you have those grades, when you look for the future job, guess what? You don't have to speak. They will speak for you. When they look at your resume and all those things that you do and the A's that come into your grade, those things speak for you. But they're going to have to pay you the money that you need. So this is what education is doing for us. We also have vocational school. Those of you that can't go to college right now, you can't go to university. We have some vocational school that's doing a good job. Learn something. Get a certificate in anything. My first certificate, what I had, was in something that I never use right now. It was in ticketing. But I still have it. I don't know what to do with it. It's still there. So learn something. Be a barber. Be a seamstress. Be something. Learn how to do hair. Whatever. Do something. Because you never know where that's going to bring you. So be an HHA or PCA, whatever. Get that degree. Get that certificate. You never know. One of them will save you one day. Do it. Don't say, oh my God, I can't go to college, but I don't like being a PCA. Why not? You're making money. The money that the PCA is making and the one that the nurse or the doctor is making are the same exact color in America. So do what you can do when you can. Go to that vocational school and learn something. But learn it with a purpose to go move forward. So that's why now I'm asking you, what is a career? When it's come to a career or a job, what do you guys think it is? What comes to your mind when you hear the word career?
Money.
Money? Very good. I love you. That's me too. I love money. So, anybody else? What else comes to your mind besides money?
Job.
Job. We said job when it's come to career. What else? Freedom. I love you too. What else? When it's come to career?
Being you.
Huh?
Being you.
Being you. That's a very good one. Anybody else? Come on, young people. You know it. You said I want a career. What is that? Huh? So what is the difference between a career and a job? Hello? I see a hand in the back. I see a hand right there in pink. What is the big difference? Hello?
A job is just something you do. You don't really like it, but because you need the money, you just doing the job. But the career, you love it, and then you do it. It's like a fun.
Anyone else? That's very, very good. Anyone else? Yes.
Career is like a long-term goal.
And a job? Yes. So again, that's why we all here, young people, we all here can have a job. You can have a job anytime you want, especially in America. I could not say that in Haiti. Oh, wow. Say I want a job in Haiti, that's like a fake story. All right? A story with no hand. But here in America, anybody here can have a job. Anybody, you can have a job on the book or off the book. It's still a job. As long as you're making that money. But this is probably what you don't want. But you're still making money. That's a job. It's temporarily. But my thing is, you cannot be focusing on a job. You have to focus on a career. A job can apply you. In a job, they tell you you are worth, for example, in New York, the minimum pay right now is $18. So in a job, they said you are worth $18. That's what the employer telling you you are worth. You are worth $18 an hour. So you go, you're so happy, like a new high school student. I have no bills, not even phone. Parents is paying for that. $18 an hour. I'm telling you, that's money. But for an adult, no, that's not money. Because they have bills to pay. You go to that, you fill out application, that's the way you go for a job. You fill out an application, you already know your price, and then sometimes they take the hours, they promise you 40 hours, and they give you 20 or 50, but that's a job. You cannot really do anything about it, because that's what I have to do. So I did that too, I had job too. But the difference between a job and a career, the career, you set up your price. You say, I am worth this. I need a contract for that. If you don't have it, forget you. I'm moving on because you are one job, like I used to tell my principal little, I said, you're one school in the whole New York City. Bye. It was like, what? I said, yes, you only one school in the whole New York City. There's other school, so I'll go to the one that fit me best. So this is what you can do when you have a career. You set up your price. You say, this is what I'm worth. So you calculate all your late nights. The misery that I go to get an A or a B. So I put that in my price. What I want for my future, I put that in my price. Where I want to travel, it's in my price. What I want to do when I'm not working, it's in my price. I still want to pay my house. It's in my price. So I set, but again, when you got a job, you can't do that. In my career, I can't do that. And to do that, you have to prepare it by going to school, stay in school, get the nice grade, get the A's and the B's that's flowing around. That's what you get when you get a career. So I suggest all of you here to get a career. It's very nice to be on the top. I'm letting you know. The world don't look the same when you on the higher up. If you go into the elevators and then you're starting at the first step, the second step, but there's 13. You're gonna see the difference when you're in 7. Oh, wow. 7? I'm looking at the people down me. The people down you are the people that are in high school or middle school. But now you're in the first year of your college. You already have 2 years. You're in the 7. Don't stay there. Because you're still looking up. There's people up there. Move up. Say, okay, let me go for my undergrad. Get a bachelor. You're going to see your pay rate going up. Don't stay there. Because you love money like me. Don't stay there. Say, let me go for my master's. You're going to see the money get a little bit different. Don't stay there. I'm telling you, don't stay there. When you get your PhD, believe me, it's not easy to get the job, but at least you will have the respect from everybody. Even the people that look you down before. Even those people. They will look you down, but the money is gonna come. Don't worry. It's coming. But at least you get what you want. Now you're not gonna be the one they're not gonna be the one to tell you, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Make sure this is done. You will be the one to say, hey, do this, do that, do that. And then you go. And you come back, you say, why is this not done? And you will feel the difference. It's not the same. So this is what I want to tell you, young people. Do it. At first, people don't understand your misery. Do it. People always think like school is easy. That's not true. Nobody told you that school was easy. School was never easy. But it can be done. So if you do it, you take your time, you apply yourself, you will get the good result. But at the same time, while you're in school, I always say that. Don't stay in school only. Remember, you have to take school in your left hand and take God in your right hand. There is no way for you to finish school while you give value to God, not to get a job. If you can't find one after you did all that sacrifice with God, and you can't find one after you graduate, come to me. I'm going to talk to God for you. I'm serious. Because I did it. Like I told you before. I did my when I was already having kids. All right? But that was my purpose. I had 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs. And I'm doing a PhD. And I still go to church. I didn't know how I do it. I still go to church.
Never miss a service. I know.
She knows about it. I go to church. Sometimes, guys, let me tell you one part about it, which I didn't know. I am coming from work on a Friday. I sat at a table from Friday. I get off that table just to take a shower and come back to that table and go to church Sunday morning. I didn't see my bed. I don't know how it looked like. I go to church. I come back, read the paper, and go to work. And say, hi, Friday. I say, we'll see you later. Thank God I had a good husband too. Because you need that support.
Thank God.
You need a support from your family too. But sometimes you have to do it without them. So don't expect you're going to have family support all the time. But focus. If you have God, you have everything. God is the support that you really need first. And God will make the others understand for you. So, I did it. If at my age I did it, hey guys, I wish I was your age again. So, you can still do it too. So, take God, make God first in your life, make your education next. Believe me, success is on your way. That can happen to you all the time. But that will come with a lot of curiosity. So, you can't do that without being curious. You have to want to learn. People can't force you to learn. You need to learn it by yourself. You need to do that for yourself. So, I used to hear my parents say, ou ka fet simon nan, ou pa ka fet sentimon. This is the same with education. M'ka djou à l'école, mais m'pa ka voyo l'école. C'est ou pour aller l'école, pour kontou, c'est ou pour embrasser, pour kontou, pour ka faire effort, pour kontou. Parce que when things getting hard, m'de djou aller, mais m'pa kontou ta prêter. It's just like friend giving you advice. I can tell you on advice, you either take it or not taking it. It's the same as education. You must know what you want and why you're going to it. Why it's important to do it. So if you don't know that, stay home. When you find out why you need to go to school, go. Stay home, do your research. Thank God right now we have, like Pastor was saying the other day, internet. Use that toward yourself for a good use. Find out what is good for me. Because you know yourself better than me. Go to the internet, make your research. This is the type of person I am. And then even in the internet, you will find out what you can do. So there's always a test that you can take. So I don't know if I can post them. You can take them later on. That you can do those tests by yourself and see, okay, I am this type of person, that type of person. This is what I learned. This is what I know about me. And then they will direct you exactly to the field that you're going to succeed with. Like I told you before about me, I did computer science, I did accounting, and a bunch of stuff, but that was not me. So I tell you not to be scared to change. Some people are afraid of the unknown. How are you going to find out if you never try? How are you going to find out? So yes, I did education, but that was not it yet. But I did all those things before. And then after that, I said, you know what? I love computer. I like the way it's going. I can go inside of a computer and find out what's in it. I did a lot of computer science work. I did all that, but that's not me. And in the way, when I did it, computer was the thing. Because you know there's a season for everything, right? So now it's social media. Everybody want to be big in social media. That's the time. But a few things after that, it's gonna go down. So when I was doing computer, that was the thing. Everybody want to do a computer programmer. I was in it too. But after I did graduate, get everything, it's still not me. I had to sit with myself and say to myself, who really I want to be? And I find out that I love to teach people. I like to teach anybody. I can teach anyone. I said, oh, that's me. I can teach anyone. And I don't want to hear that this person cannot be taught. That's impossible. Did you ever try? You never tried to teach that person, so you cannot say that person cannot learn. So when I found out this is me, and I said education is my better way to go. So please, do something that you enjoy to do so you can do it with ease. Always enjoy what you're doing when you choose something to do. Find out what are you good at. So find out if you're a person that extrovert or introvert. Find out that. Find out what job matters to you. Don't look only at the money, because you can find a job that have a lot of money and you'll be miserable. Before you know it, you're in the hospital for stress. I do not know one day in my life I was stressful. First of all, I'm too blessed to be stressed. So I can't be stressed. And I work with young people. I can't be stressed. So again, you find out what you love, and this is where it's going to be. So I always say when you're choosing a career, there's certain things that you need to consider. So find the interests, find the skills, find the value, and find what's available in the job market, if it's going to be there for you all the time. Find your balance in life. You have to find that. And find a salary. So don't go to that job because they offer you $100,000 when they can offer you $200,000. Why are you doing that for? Why are you cutting yourself short? So if the same job is off, and then there's one thing people don't like to do, traveling. So if traveling is paying more, I'm sorry, I'm going. I have the knowledge. I have the knowledge, so I'm going. You as young people, you need to be able to experiment. Do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the unknown. This is your time. Enjoy it. Because at a certain time of the life, you're going to be staying still like me. But make sure that you do everything that you need to do. Evaluate what you're doing. So ask personal questions. You always ask people, okay, if you like certain job that someone is doing, do not be afraid to ask them questions. That's how you're going to know. So ask questions. Create short-term and long-term goals for what you want to do. Always do that. So this is a short-term goal. From year 1 to year 2, I'm going to be doing something. And evaluate to see if you did it. So this is what I want to be in 2 years, and this is where I want to be in 6 years or 10 years. Evaluate. And always make sure that you can reassess yourself, because that will go with your lifestyle. So I will put this on the board. I don't know if you can. So this is it okay? It is? Okay. So when I said to know yourself, so I'm going to give you this. You have your phone. You can take one of those tests. Is this? I don't think it's there. I think I'm on number 22. 23 or 23, yes. Okay. So, guys, I'm giving this to you for free. I'm not charging you for that. So, you can make a copy of them. You can take, anytime you can take some of those tests. So, this is to help you to figure out which one you want to do. Because probably you want to say, you know what, after she talked like that, I think I'm going to be going for teaching. One of those tests will let you know, can you do it? Because you have to have the stamina to do it. They will guide you. One of those will guide you to say, okay, this is what I want to do. So you can take my top 5 strength. There's a test in there. There's also one that called the 16 personality. I think psychology people know that better than me, right? The 16 personalities. There's a quiz there. You can take that quiz. That will help you also. There's online assessment that you can take with the whole and code. That's also very good. So that also will direct you to which path that you want to take. And the last one that I put in there, there's my next move. And that will help you to know what do you want to do for a living. So if you go to that, you can plug any type of field that you want. And then after you experiment those fields, and you will say, oh, maybe that's for me, or maybe that's not for me. Instead of going to something and don't know if you want to be there. Don't waste money, because we don't have it. We Haitian. Haitian never have money. I don't know one of them that have money. They don't have money. Madon Haitien ko pou n'a dou m'pa genyen. Di pa jam dou m'pa ganse, di dou m'pa genyen. Comprenez? Et puis, pendant qu'il pas gagné, il y aurait les Haïti, il y a besoin de 300, ou elle met le dehors. Mais il pas gagné. That's my people, I love them. So again, like I said, so don't waste your money. Find out what you want, and then go to that field. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid. Don't go to a field just because. Change it and do better. That will help you. So, I'm trying to be very short right now. So again, like I said before, you can have some SMART goal. SMART goal being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That's what that means for SMART. And create some short-term goal, like I said before. So it's something you can do also, volunteer. Haïtien pas mais à faire volontaire. Tout ça vous voulez faire pour payer pour lui. No, volunteer. My first job as teaching was to volunteer in a school. The same school hired me. So you go in there, you volunteer. This is the fit. You want to be working in a hospital? Stop volunteering in a hospital. They will know you better. The job that comes in is going to come for you. So, improve your skill. Pas dire pas qu'à jouer un job ça et pour pas jamais faire aucun effort pour lui. So you have to make sure that you can speak. Some job require you to speak in public. So my shy people, I'm sorry. Even in your interview, you have to speak. Some job will require you to speak in public. Imagine if I can't speak in public and I want to be a teacher. So how about my student? So that's my crowd, and I have to talk to them. So then go to clubs. When I say club, pas les clubs, club haïtien, no. Go to club. Like in your school, they have clubs that they created. Especially for people that shy, you need to get invested in those. They will help you. So I have a daughter that was very, very shy. My own and only daughter in high school was so shy she was to herself all the time. And I said to her one day, you're not graduating high school, not being in a club. And she said, I don't want none of them. I don't like none of them. I said, I know that. But they like you, So you're going to go to one of them. So finally, she decided to go to one of them. And that was her open up. She's still shy a little, but again, it's not the same. Now she works also as a teacher. So imagine without that. So you never know what club, the club that they put, those extra curriculum activities they put in school, they are for your benefit. So use them. Young boy, do basketball in your school. There's scholarship in them too, you know that? There's a lot of things you go in school. There's scholarship that's going for them. It's not all the time that you have to pay for college. Use your brain. All my undergraduate studies, I do them without paying a dime. You hear that? Because all of my undergrad, I didn't pay a dime. You know what? I use this, my brain. They ask for certain papers, I write it down. You need an essay, I write it down. I have to do certain voluntary good, I do that. And that's giving me money, paying for my school. So I did not pay. I started paying, masters, when I did my masters, that's why I was going to, because I find out I can get to school without paying, then I go. Then when I do my masters, I pay a little bit. And then I still have a little bit of grant. I have half of the grant. Not all of it, half of it for my masters. Then my big load come with my big thing. So you think you probably didn't know ça. The doctorate, you probably didn't know ça. You think no ça c'est au pour de l'argent avec. No, you do assez. And I agree with them. But again, there's ways that you guys can go. Don't be lazy. Find a way. Go to your counselors in school. Talk to other students. You find out they have a grant. Find them how. They posted the scholarships on the school. Even in college, sometimes they do that. They post them, but you're not paying attention. You're on TikTok. TikTok is not giving you scholarship. Maybe if you post something for them, they will add some money to you. But again, that's not enough for the schooling that you need. So find out how to get those scholarships. Write those papers. You have a lot of counselors. They're in your school. You're in college. Go to the, they have help available for people to help you with the English. Whatever it is, the math, whatever. Go to them. Make sure you have it, and then so you can write that beautiful paper to get your scholarships. They're there. So if my other colored people are taking them, why not me? Just because I'm black and brown, that doesn't mean that I don't need them. So you can have them too. So find out how to get them and get them. You are the police of your life. When you're in school, you don't go to school just to play around. Because you go with a purpose. So find out. Keep your GPA high. This college that you wanted to go, remember, and I always said that to high school students, you one student out of 1 million that competed for the same spot. Make sure you're the one that get it. That's your job. When my kids used to be in school, high school and junior high school, I used to tell them, I don't want to hear there's a bad school. I want to hear in that bad school, there's one great student, it's you. I don't care if it's a bad school, but there's one great student, it's you. So make sure you get it. Make sure you get the scholarship to go where you want. That's your job. So complete what you have to complete. Do your college program, start an internship program, do an apprentice program. As a matter of fact, there was an apprentice program that I put some kids in. I don't know if they still, I will talk to Pastor Edwige about that, if they still have program, because I heard they stopped the program. And after that, now they reopened it again for 4 years. So this is a program, while I'm talking, that's taking kids from 16 to 24. This program was only open to kids that was only having residency in the country or that was a citizen of the country. But when the humanitarian program came, they make it open to a lot of kids. So what I do, being an educator, every kid that I know, I'm like, ship them to the program. So all those kids are already in that program. They're getting some skills as nurse. Some of them is getting computer science. Some of them is getting mechanical things like that. So it's a very good program that was done by the government. And Congress was national, yes. So this administration find out about the program, but it was also for low-income kids too, which is most of us fit for it. So this administration find out it was too good to be true for us and tried to shut up the program. But again, it was not under their wings, it was under Congress. So they stopped them right now from shutting it up. And I just heard that they're putting it out also for 4 more years. So I will find out more info about it, and I will tell Pastor Edwige if it's still available. So you guys that's still thinking, let me tell you, I have a lot of kids that's under the humanitarian program that's on that program right now. They are in the program right now. Once you're in, and then guess what? Let me talk a little bit about the program while I'm in that field. They covers everything. When I mean everything, I mean everything. They give them a place to live, like a university, right? They give them dorm, food 3 times a day. They give them a stipend every week. In the same program, they also give them their uniform for whatever trade they choose. They can go home every weekend and come back in the program, but it's very strict too. I'm not telling you that. It's very strict. So they give them a stipend every week. And after 2 years in that program, they pay for college for 2 years. And it's a government thing. It's a government program. So I'm keeping you right there, and I will let Pastor Edwige know when I find out about it. So guys, my wish for you, please be successful. And I'm stopping here. May God bless you.
I don't know how I follow up with that. I wish I could hear Dr. Lori speak all day long, but unfortunately we don't have all day. But these things are so invaluable. I really hope that everybody, at least it gets you thinking. Because once it reaches your thoughts, then it's gonna touch your belief. And your belief system is what activates the energy that you need to accomplish anything that you want in life. So that's why I'm hoping that everything that was said here, at least it gets you thinking. We have a lot of resources. Thank God for all those resources. Wouldn't you like to thank God for the resources that you've been given? Amen. So I want to quickly just introduce myself, not as Brother Kulik, but I guess as a professional. They added me to this panel. I want to leave most of the time for the other professionals that we have here. I know this morning we already had the privilege to hear from Pastor Luino. He studied psychology, and as a pastor, of course, he deals with people a lot, so we had the opportunity to learn a lot from him. And I also feel like if we had more time, we could have learned so much more. So we'll leave time at the end if you have questions from what he was saying, which I have one myself. We have Esquire, Lucinda, one of our own, not born but raised, attorney Lucinda Lewis. She's going to be presenting as well. She will introduce herself. I don't pass the presentation. Dr. Lori, I can't say enough. She already presented herself. We have Brother Baxter. He is also here. He's an engineer. He's very good with technology, computer. He started with computer, self-taught, because of the love he had for God and a love for education. He's also an inspiring story. He could share more of that himself, but right now he works as an engineer, a senior engineer for one of the most prestigious hospitals here. So he has a lot to share. We have our very own Patrice Cledo, engineer, programmer. He has a whole lot of skills, so he can also share some of his experience. So myself, I no longer work in finance, but that's my background, business and finance. So I want to just show or share with you a little bit about that, and so I could leave most of the time for them. Sister Lori mentioned about job markets. She talked about interests. While you're prospecting, the types of things to look out for. Prospecting is to just survey and to look forward to and consider analyzing things before you actually engage yourself. So if you want to work in finance, or any industry you want to work in, you have to look at the job market. You have to look at all the prospects for that job. There are some areas where you live, a certain industry may not be too favorable for you. It doesn't mean you can't find a job there. We know God can do everything. And connection now, especially in the age that we're living, networking is everything. But there are some markets that are more favorable to some careers. As a finance person, you will find that Chicago, Washington, D.C., you'll find that New York, those places, they're more favorable to people that are in finance. It's much easier. You could come out of college and get an internship, or paid internship, or a good job there, 6 figures and all. But if you are in a smaller market, it may not be as easy. You may still get there, but there's a different path. You may have to start from high school. If you know you want to be in finance, from high school, you need to set your eyes on the company that you want to work for. Find your way in there as an intern somehow. That way you could build a rapport with them, start at a lower staffing level. Sometimes it may be papers, printing, and doing those things. At least you have your foot in the door. And then you work your way up. A lot of times, the best way is to go through the banking system. Because you could start as a teller, right? And then you get your licenses, etc. So while it might be more difficult in some markets, to make a living in finance, it's not impossible. You just got to do the right thing at an earlier time and then network with the right people. Okay? So now, when it comes to finance, there are 2 different parts. Okay? There are 2 different routes you can take with finance. There's corporate finance and there's the personal finance. I went to school, I got a bachelor's in finance, and of course you take a lot of financial courses. Accounting is part of it, business is part of it, and with corporate finance you go and work in the corporate world, analyzing statements, doing projections, modeling, giving you can become a financial analyst. You can be an accountant. Those different things until you can become an officer for a small business or a big corporation, where you analyze statements and then you give them your recommendations, because the ownership of the company relies on your recommendations for them to make decisions. So you got to be really good at reading financial statements and analyzing all those things. So that's what you need to work as that is a formal education with a bachelor's in finance. It's not easy, but at the same time, it's not impossible. Like Sister Lori said, you just have to apply yourself. Now, as a in corporate finance, usually you start as an analyst, okay? There are various routes. Of course, I don't have enough time right now to go over everything, but you usually start at a lower level, and then you become more senior, and then you can become part of the executive team. But you're just there working to help with their books, with their statements, and then giving recommendations. You can start a job at around $50-something thousand, or sometimes 40. Now with the change in salaries, it may be 50, and then you can find people getting paid 150,000 up to 250 when you get higher in the ranks. But that's corporate finance. It may take a little longer for you to get there at the top of the ladder with corporate finance. If you have the right networking, if you have the right experience, usually 7 to 10 years. To get a top job in finance, it takes you 7 to 10 years. But the other side, because I don't want to spend too much time there, the other side is personal finance. As soon as I graduated from USF, I was recruited by a company that does personal finance. So I never got to work in corporate finance. And I got my licenses for insurance products. And later on, a few years down the road, I got recruited by another firm that was more prestigious. And from there, I got my Series 7, which allows you to do investments and manage portfolios, where as a financial planner, you could have millions of dollars of assets under management, whether it's for a corporation or for businesses or rich individuals, you're managing their portfolio for them. You're giving them recommendations. So that's what personal finance is. It's totally separate from corporate finance. So most people that work in personal finance as a financial advisor, and there are different licenses you could do for that, they don't get paid a salary like the people that work in corporate finance. They mainly get paid off of commissions. Now, there are some companies, with the right company, you can have a base salary that you start with, and then commissions is earned based on how much business or the volume of business you bring in. But even though there's a downside to it because there's not a base salary, but the upside is super high. Why? Because you get rewarded based on how much effort you put in. So if you work hard and then you are really good at what you do at acquiring clients and maintaining them, you can make a whole lot of money. There are guys making millions. At my previous firm, people that were there more senior than me, they would, just off of one policy, they could make $50,000 in commission on one policy. Imagine if you got 5 of those for the year. And that's just on the insurance side. On the risk management side, if that person has, okay, I'm going to bring $20 million for you to manage for me, and you make 2%, because financial advisors charge 1 to 2% annually, this is how much more money you're going to make as a residual income over the years. So Personal finance, you can climb higher, faster. You can make more money, but it's much harder. Maybe 1 out of 10 advisors stay in that industry. Most of them, they end up falling short because it's too hard. It puts a strain on your family. So these are the two sides of finance, being in finance, I wanted to present to you. If I had more time today, I would have given some information about how you can handle your personal finance. Okay? Because that can, I've seen finances make and break families. I've seen people that are in love, they love each other, they're married, but because of financial problems, they end up getting divorced, or there's always tension in the house because of finance. So if your finances are not handled properly, it can destroy your life. But if you handle it properly, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. You can live a successful, you can live a happy and peaceful life. We've seen people that make 6 figures and then they're always stressed and they're always broke. But we also see people that are only making $50,000 a year, but they live really well with no stress. What's the difference? How you manage your finances. So there's so much to say about finance. I'm trying to tiptoe around certain things to leave the time for the rest. But let me mention this real quick. It's either you work for money or money works for you. These are the two sides of the coin you can fall into. It's either you work for money, thank God for the careers, thank God for jobs, and we need those, right? But be careful not to fall into the trap of just working for money. You can start out that way, you can even make a whole lot of money, but if you're working for money, that rat race is still gonna keep going and going, and it will never stop. And then one day when you cannot work anymore, because what do you need to work? You need energy, you need time, you need health. All these things, you need them to keep working for money. And as long as you have those things, that's fine, money is gonna keep coming. But the minute you don't have health or something tragic happens to you where you cannot actively work for money, then what? You don't have money. If you just have a job, even we know IBM was the gold standard, especially during the generations before us. IBM, GM, General Motors, like they were the gold standard for like working hard, making a ton of money, having a pension there for you. They never fire you, etc. There's no more such thing as job security. At whatever level, there's no such thing. Now, a lot of those IBM employees, they get let go. GM, let go. So and then now, those people thought their financial future was secure, and then now they're back working at Walmart or finding some other thing in some other discipline that they did not previously do, or they wanted to stop working, but they can't. Why? Because they were just working for money. It's good to work for money at a certain point, but while that's happening, you need to also make sure you are also having money work for you. That part, what does it mean? Investments. While you're sleeping, you have to be making money. Make sure that you are making money even when you're not actively doing something. If you always have to use your skills, your talent, your time to actively making money, and that's all it is, you are always in danger, like one fire being fired away, or one thing happening and then you can't work, and then that's it. So I encourage you, while you heard all these things, to allow you to make the maximize the amount of money you can make. But also there's another side of finance that gives you the true financial freedom. You need to have money work for you. I will just share this concept with you and I'm gonna stop, because this is a whole world. I could do like days of a seminar just on finance. But I will share this concept with you. You could study it, research it. I don't know, any of you ever hear about the cash flow quadrant? No? Okay. Well, I guess that's a good thing for me to share with you. It's called the cash flow quadrant. It's how you make money. Okay? That concept was mainly developed by Robert Kiyosaki. So if you are looking for a good book to read, I also recommend you read that. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's one of the best business books and finance books that was ever written. And he talked about his rich dad being his father, who was a professional, who was his biological father too, helped him to go to school and all of that. He had a set of advice for him. But that was his poor dad, excuse me. But his rich dad was a good friend who was a mentor to him. And he taught him how to invest, how to have money work for him. These were two views, but he presented those in the book. And in the book, he wrote about the cash flow quadrant. So there are 4 parts to the quadrant. The first, there's a left side and there's a right side. On the left side, you have the E and the S. And on the right side, you have the B and the I. So that's 4 parts. 4 different ways you can earn income. The E represents employee. It stands for employee. Okay? The first way you can earn income, earn money, is as an employee. By having a job. You work for money. You trade your time for money, right? You get paid hourly or even if it's salary, but you have to go in, you give your time, and then they give you money. Now you get to put your worth on your time, right? If you have a career, you can command the most amount of money, right? But as an employee. Unfortunately, as an employee, you can make more money, but those of you who have high salaries, the more money you make, the more you pay in taxes, right? Because you're in a different tax bracket. Now, beside the E quadrant, when you go down, you have the S quadrant. These are the people that say, you know what? I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to work for myself. You have those doctors, consultants. You have attorneys. They have their own firms, right? They work for themselves. You have a plumber who may have a business. It's still a job, but you just give yourself the job. Those people, they make a little bit more money, but they also work harder. Their families never get to see them a lot of times because they got to work. They got to be there. They are the brain of the operation. So they have a little bit of a tax break because they can itemize a lot of things, but they still have to be there for them to make money. Okay? Side of it, and the other side, you have the B, which stands for business owner. That's when you have a whole lot of people working for you. It's generally considered 500 or more employees. At that time, you own a system. Like McDonald's, for example. The owner of McDonald's, wherever he is, whatever he's currently doing, he's making money. Because he owns a business. And when you get to that point, taxes, you barely pay anything in taxes. I've heard so many of us complain because we pay so much in taxes, but people that are rich, sometimes instead of them paying taxes, they give them money back. They make millions, they don't pay anything, and yet they make money back. His business owners, when you get there, is the most tax advantageous position you can be in. And that's how you leave a legacy behind for your family as well. And then the I, which is the last part of the quadrant, is investors. You may be an employee and you could still be an investor at the same time. Okay? Investor is when you have money work for you. Of course, there are some people that try to do it by themselves. I would caution you, because I also know a lot of people personally who try to invest their own money and they get eaten up by the market. They think they can outsmart the market. They could do a lot of things by themselves. A lot of them make it, but after a lot of failures. So there, you could invest in real estate. You could invest in the stock market. There is a lot of different investments. But whatever investment works, you just have to find your niche and make sure that you have consistency in your investments. That way, down the line, you can have some form of security when you retire. You could do investments and do it wrong, which is why I advise you to get a financial advisor. If you don't have the time to learn to do it right, get a financial advisor. Not everybody's going to charge you. There are firms where you can just go in, they give you free financial consultation, and they don't charge you for you to get a consultation or for them to help you. So I encourage you to do that. On that note, I will stop here. I just wanted to share that much. I know it's very broad, but at least I wanted to give you a little peek into what finance is as a career, how much money you can make, and the path to get there, but as well as personal finance. If any of you want some more education, my number, you know my number, we could post it here too. I'm willing and available to just volunteer my time to help you with budgeting and refer you to a licensed financial advisor to help you put your life on track. On that note, I will just go ahead and pass it to the next speaker. If you have any questions, write them down, because I'm not taking questions right now. We will just allow everybody to introduce themselves and do a little presentation about their career, and then at the end, we'll just pull all those questions together, and whoever the question pertains to, they can feel free to answer it. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I really am not going to use the microphone. I think I speak loud enough. Can you guys hear me in the back?
Yes.
I guess YouTube folks need to also hear me. So I guess I will use their microphone. My name is Lucinda Lewis, and before I start, I'm just going to ask everyone to just stand up. I know we had lunch, people are tired. I know. Let's just stand up. You know, stretch. I've heard that after sitting down for 30 minutes, you should stand. So, wake up, All right, now, whenever you feel like it, you can sit right back down. So, I guess my introduction is, I grew up in Sarasota Gospel Temple, so by default, I'm from Sarasota, Florida. Graduated from high school a long time ago. I went to University of South Florida, which is in Tampa. I got my degree in criminology, graduated in 2018. After graduating from undergrad, I went straight to law school, and I graduated in 2021, so I've been an attorney for 3 years. Currently, I practice criminal law. I work for the government, so yes, I do some interesting things. Within my field, because I'm only specific to criminal law, there's other areas of law that I do know that I can talk about. I can't just talk about it in great details because, I'm an attorney, and the things that we have to say is that I'm not giving any legal advice. So think of this as a free education, not legal advice. Anything that I say, We have not created a contract. We have not created a contract, so I'm not your attorney, okay? I'm just here for educational purpose. That's it about me. So I'm going to pass the mic to the next person. I can answer any questions related to law, my career and how to get there. Is there anything specific, any advice anyone would need? Because even though I know I went to law school and got my Juris Doctor, the steps to getting any type of degree is about the same. So just general knowledge is important as well. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Baxter. I'm happy to be here. How many of you guys so far have enjoyed the amount of content or resources that you've gotten today? If so, let's give a hand of applause for everybody who's talking already. As a quick, I'm just gonna say that out real quick. It's a testimony, and maybe or maybe not, but if it relates to you, then I encourage you to be encouraged. I remember we were growing up, my father used to say, it's a family of 4, there was a computer that we had in the house. He used to say, never let Baxter touch the computer, because I always found a way to break it. And it just didn't make any sense. And when I moved to Sarasota, the only thing that I had in terms of experience, I was exposed to sound. People doing sound engineering or home studios. So when I came, I was helping out with that, and I remember I was working, I had a computer that I did a recording for a service one day, and the computer broke down. And I had the computer on the floor, living room of my house. I'm looking at it, I don't understand anything. I'm just looking at it. Only if my eyes could fix it, but as we know, eyes don't fix computers. So Pastor Edwige came to my house that day, and only, if he can remember, only him can say what he saw. Because he laughed. He just saw me on the floor and he started laughing. I'm not sure what he saw, how funny I looked or silly I looked, but the one thing that I did do, I seized the opportunity. And I said, man of God, instead of laughing at me, if you can pray God and for God to give me the knowledge to fix this computer. And when the knowledge comes, I promise you I will build you a computer. And he said, consider it done. And I kid you not, 2 weeks later, I fixed the computer. And I was like, nah, there's so many cables you're touching, eventually you're gonna touch the right one. So I was doubting myself. So I broke it again and I fixed it again, and so on and so forth until today I found myself working at a hospital as a unified communication engineer on a daily basis. So I thank God for that. And like our sister was saying, Dr. Laura was saying earlier, like to hold on to school with your left hand and hold on to God with your right hand, because you cannot make it without God. And you can say, well, that's not true. I have friends who have no idea who God is. They're making it. That part is true. But the one thing that you need to understand, the minute that you've chosen God to be yours, your guidance, then he wants you to rely on him. And for you to rely on him, you have to let go and let God. And I know this is not a sermon sessions, we're not teaching or preaching, but at the end of the day, we're all a child of God, and whatever we say, we still have to give honor to him. And even in our careers, imagine you have a criminal lawyer defending your case, but that person is a Christian. So, like, not to throw shades on lawyers, but growing up in Haiti, you always often hear that, oh, lawyers are crooked, they find ways to lie, but like when you have a Christian as a lawyer, that's a different standard. Because they're going to tell you what they need to tell you according to the law, but they're not going to cheat you out of your money or do anything like that. When you have a surgeon who believes that God is a creator, not him, as he's going through in you, he's believing in God for you. And that gives you an extra advantage. So I say all that to say, as a lot of the time you find kids who just, they go about the trends of now. They live in the now moment. I think they call it YOLO. If anybody can tell me what that means, go ahead. You only live once, okay? And yeah, that mentality could be good and bad. Because you only live once doesn't mean that you can go do every dumb stuff out there thinking that, okay, I only get to live once, I been there, done that. No, because every action comes with consequences. But I remember when I was growing up, I couldn't live up to the kids in my school because they would come to school with Jordans, Nikes, and me, I'm wearing a Shaq shoes. I mean, I don't know if you guys even know what a Shaq shoes is. The Shaquille O'Neal shoes, you find out the Ross or Marshalls. Yeah, and it's like, and then you have other kids wearing Jordans, Kobe's. These are the things that you only see other kids do, like you can't do. My parents wasn't able to afford that. But the one thing that was important to me is to invest in myself. And the one way you can invest in yourself, it may not be with money, but it can be with education. And the thing that, because you find kids spending a bunch of money to keep up with the lifestyle. Because Jordans are not cheap. You're spending $200, $300, $400 in a pair of Jordans. And you got kids now in this time, driving a car is becoming a thing. When I was in school, you have to take the school bus. Now you have kids driving a car to school. But now they have to find a job to be able to pay for the car note, because not every kid parents can pay for the car note. So imagine you, instead of your responsibility should be in school and only in school and church, now you're having to work a part-time job to pay bills. Now you're sitting there stressing yourself out in the worries of life instead of being a kid. I feel like the days of kids being kids are going behind us. Kids are having grown-up problems. That's a problem. And we need to start being kids all over again. Let's enjoy the quality of life that God given us. That's the first song that we sung earlier. I took a picture of the lyrics because I know I wasn't going to remember it. They said, what a good life that God has given me. If you believe that God gave you a good life, go ahead and give him a round of applause. Let's clap for God. If you believe that he gave you a good life. I don't want to serve the world anymore because God is giving us a good life. And that good life is not just in your spiritual life. You could still be spiritual and rich. You can still be spiritual and be a doctor. You can be spiritual and be a congressman. I remember taking Lucinda to USF for the first time. She was this young little girl, but she's so ambitious. And now look at her, she's a lawyer. She's an attorney. See, in the Haitian community, everybody's an attorney. But none of them has been to a law school. But this one actually went to a law school. When you go to the Florida bar, you put her name, her license number is going to come up. Like Dr. Laurie said, you can clock it, right? She did it. And then these are the things that we live for, you know, the accomplishment of our brothers and sisters. So I encourage everybody from your local church who's working on your career to be your brother's keeper, to be your sister's keeper. Because the minute that you start having the Cain mentality, I'm not my brother's keeper, automatically you become your brother's destroyer. So I'm gonna stop with that.
All right, I'm Patrice Lido from Haiti. I always like to say that in my interviews because it's always a weird feeling when you are one of the rarest black person in the room. And that's been the case in most of my career. And I'm always proud to say I'm from Haiti. I studied in Haiti. I didn't study here. I spent not even a minute in the US studying. So I went to Faculté des Sciences, which is one of the toughest places on earth. Spent 5 years there, and it's been tough. Not only financially, we don't pay anything, but you know, living in Haiti, not having the means, and your parents doing everything to keep the boat afloat, it's tough. You have it soft here. You have cars, you have phone bills paid, you have a roof, you have highways, internet and everything. And a lot of people are wasting that opportunity. They think, oh, they take it for granted. When you come from nothing, you appreciate everything. I came from nothing. The only thing I had was education. My mom, my dad, they were always pushing me. And that's one thing that's common with Haitian parents. They don't even know what you're studying. They just want you to learn something. They know like the 4 big careers, like being a lawyer or attorney, being an engineer, doctor, right, and accountant, civil engineer, things like that, because they see those people are making the money, right? But they don't even know what you're studying in class. They don't know math. They don't know anything, but they're still pushing you, doing all the sacrifices so you can succeed, right? I remember like sometimes I only got $5, not American dollars, 5 Haitian dollars for me to go to school. Imagine that. That's not even $1. So going to take the bus, try to manage that $5 just to eat a particular day, go learn and stay there for the whole day because you don't have internet, you don't have electricity at home. You have to stay the whole day and go back home when it's dark. Sometimes there's no bus. You have to run after a camionette. Like, it's been hard, okay? So you have it easy here, and I would encourage you to like take whatever you can, like all the opportunities that you can and run with it. And there's one thing I want to kind of brush up on, like my career as a software engineer, I've touched like many industries, like finance, real estate, even supply chain, networking. So I've touched all those areas. I'm currently working for a consulting firm, which is Cognizant Technology Solutions, but I am assigned to a client, which is a bank in New York. So it is MNC Bank, maybe you might heard of it. So I'm working remote. I've been working remote for the last 5 years, maybe even more. And I'm loving it because I kind of like the freedom, but what comes with it is discipline. If you're not disciplined at all, I'm not gonna say if you're not, you can be disciplined because it's just, maybe our psychologist expert can tell you, like, it's something you gotta build up. You're not made up with, of discipline. You have to build that in your brain. So it's gonna take time, and with the social media right now, your phone is the hardest thing to do. Being disciplined, being focused. And if I ask you how many hours you spend on social media on your phone, you can check. I always check mine. Like if I spend 3 hours, I can check. If I spend 5 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, I can check the stats on my phone and say, okay, I need to back off. If I'm not doing something that's productive or pushing something on the internet, I just, okay, no more consuming from it. But you have to be disciplined because you spend too many hours on your phone, on TikTok, Instagram, and they all have one job, getting your attention. That's all they need, keeping you on the platform. And what's your job? It's to take care of your life, not to give it to Zuckerberg, to waste it, because they need you to be on the platform. Why? Do you know why they want you to be on the platform?
No, I don't know.
Any idea why Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they want you to be on the platform? So they want you as long as they can have you so that they can advertise to you. That's it. Because people are paying for attention. If you can see it, maybe you'll buy it later on. So they want you to spend all the time you need. You can on the platform. If you don't sleep, it's okay, because they need that. And I know that because I produce content on the internet as well, and they give me the data, how long someone stays to watch a video. And if you don't keep that person's attention, they call it retention rate, they're not gonna push that video because you're not keeping that person's interest. Meaning what you're saying is maybe not too interesting, or maybe you're not adjusting it in the right rate or pace, whatever. So they're paying you to keep people's attention because they're gonna make billions of dollars of those people. So now, if you understand this is not your interest, that's their interest. What's your interest? Maybe in education, maybe making money, or having a career. So why are you wasting 3 hours a day when you don't have that much time? Or 15 hours a week? There's people who spend like crazy amount of time on phones, on TikTok. They go to TikTok, they close the app, they go to Instagram, they close the app, they go to Facebook, they close the app. It's like a circle, like you're going in a circle, and your brain doesn't even know how to stop because it's looking for what our psychologist, I don't know how to, Pastor, okay, Pastor Lino. So it's just you're looking for pleasure, dopamine hit. Your brain needs that, and it's okay, that's a natural thing, but when you're getting it easily, I open this, I can get it like in a second. You're not built for that. Your brain gonna be addicted to that. Oh, I need that pleasure. When there is something that requires a lot of effort, a lot of brain power, you're gonna feel, oh, I can do, let me get my phone. You get a dopamine hit. If you feel good, then what is important for you, you never get done. So that's something I'm really interested in because I know I'm on the fence, I'm looking at a bunch of data and see what it is doing to people. Now, that aside, I want to talk about something really quick. Like, we already went through, as a civilization, went through like 6 revolutions already, right? There was, the last one was before the last one was the Industrial Revolution, right? So that's when, instead of having people to do the work, they invented machines to do the work. You see trucks, you see tractors doing the work. And with that revolution, what happened? A lot of people lost their job because they only know how to use what do you call it? To move the soil, whatever they use. So if you don't know how to run a machine, you're left behind, right? That happened, and a lot of people were like going crazy. Oh, you're stealing our job. No, it's evolution. The second one was some kind of digital information technology, right? Evolution. Now you have computers doing most of the work and people sitting at their desks and doing a lot of things, making a lot of money, right? But we have one right now, happening right now, which is the AI revolution. This is dangerous and this is scary. Even me, I'm scared. I'm telling you. I'm a professional with 15 years of experience working for a bank, so managing data, managing like millions of dollars. I'm scared because I know what it means. So what does that mean? AI. So what is AI? Do you know what's AI? Okay, but what does that really mean? Like, we have an artificial intelligence doing things. So intelligence, right? It's something that can resonate, that can make decision by itself. But it's artificial, it's not a human, right? Now, take this and apply it to all of this career. Finance. I love finance because that's where the money is, right? A lot of people making a lot of money. And Brother Killick was talking about analysts, right? What do they analyze? They analyze the trends, they analyze the data. And what AI needs is, give me the data, I'll understand the trends, I'll understand what's going on, and I can make decision, I can make prediction. So instead of 10 people working on multiple cases, they can have 2 people and give them a computer with AI. That's it. You're a lawyer or attorney. Instead of having 10 people working the case, entering data, analyzing all the files, blah, 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 PDF, they can have 5 instead of 10, they have 5, and those people, they just input those data into a computer and try to understand, oh, this article, this and that, and correlate all those data together and give you better insight than a human, because it's superhuman. It's multiple computers. It's not just a laptop. It's not just a phone. It's multiple computers. They have data centers that can take this whole building with computing power. So making prediction, understanding data, right? You take education. So someone with AI can come up with a better way to teach something. And in some places they were testing that, like, we're gonna give kids just a computer and they're gonna have personalized education. They're testing that right now. Like, and they saw that those kids, they learn faster than having a human teaching them. You see how crazy this is? And now if I'm touching computer science and specifically software engineering, we have computers or artificial intelligence writing code. I have experienced that. Recently I was trying something, because normally before you have a software going out in the world, there's multiple steps. You have to understand what are the requirements, what does the software needs to do. You have to test it, you have to deploy it somewhere on a computer, you have to make it available to people. There's multiple steps. There's testing, there's project manager, there's a lot of steps going on. Now, with AI, someone without a computer science degree can go on the internet, open a website, and say, okay, I want this app that does this, and I'm gonna want this outcome. Do this for me. It's gonna correct it a couple of times, and then they have a software. You just need to know what you're looking for. You just need to give it enough data, and it's gonna output something that even you don't even understand it, but it does the work. So it's like scary that I can be replaced, or maybe someone with AI knowledge can replace me, or replace 10 people. So what does that mean for the job market, for the marketplace? It's supply and demand, and corporations, they are after what? Profit, more money. How they can keep more money? How can they not hire that many people and get most result for their money? They're not gonna hire 10 people if they can hire 2 people and give them a tool that can do the job of the other 8 people. So that's why I'm kind of scared, and you should as well, because in the next 5 years we don't know what's gonna happen. And matter of fact, last week Microsoft, one of the biggest company on earth, they started cutting jobs. 15,000 jobs gone. It's not people who are underperforming. People they can replace with AI. Do you understand? 15,000 people out of the door. That's Microsoft. I believe, which one again? There's another one. LinkedIn. They're all cutting jobs because they have you train the AI, and then they say, okay, now that the AI understands what needs to be done, it has enough data, then we don't need you. We don't need you. And AI gonna be more intelligent and more sophisticated in the next 5 to 10 years. That means it's gonna affect your career like greatly. That doesn't mean the career gonna disappear, but when you're out of the door, there might be less job. And that's the reality. Just like Industrial Revolution put a lot of people out of jobs, computer or information technology revolution put a lot of people out of jobs because it's not a tractor, it's a computer doing the job of the tractor. It's the same thing, it's not you, an intelligent human being doing the job, it's an AI, artificial intelligence, doing your job better than you. I say better because it has access to almost all data that is available on the internet. So you almost like out of the picture. Now, not to scare you too much, but what I'm saying is that in the next 5 years, you have to be on top of everything. Like if you're going in a job, in a career, don't slack off, just be all in, because if you're not at the top, you're not gonna have a job. I'm sorry, that's what it is. If you're not gonna be able to compete with AI or even use AI at your advantage, you're not gonna stand a chance. It's crazy, it's scary, but that's the reality. Now, even now, you can try to benefit from AI. Like, do you have ChatGPT on your phone? Let me see, who has ChatGPT? That's not enough. You're already behind. Do you have access to ChatGPT? No. You're behind. That's an artificial intelligence that can do almost everything for you. Like, you want to know which career are going to be there in 5 years, like analyzing the trends and everything, go to ChatGPT. You don't have to ask me. Go to ChatGPT. Just, okay, you are a career coach, and I'm trying to understand which career I should pursue my, which path I should pursue my career, right? And this is analyze all the trends, the job market, whatever. So it's gonna gather all the data for you and say, okay, yeah, the trend is downward. Maybe in 5 years you might not have a job. It's gonna tell you, because they have data. Now, in my field, so before I finish, so in my field, computer science, there's the coding part. I would not encourage someone to go just learn to code. No, don't even think about it, because AI can do it. Now, in computer science, it's not only code, it's all the engineering part. Like, you have to think about distributed system. Like, it's not only writing the code, how those systems are communicating together. How do I secure this application? Cybersecurity is a good thing right now to learn, because there's going to be more threats coming from people using AI, right? And machine learning or data science, data analytics. Those are good fields if you love technology. These are good fields to go in, not just learn how to code. If you go into for computer science, understand which path you want to go. Don't just go, I'm just going to code something. Understand, okay, I might go to data science for data science or data analytics or machine learning or even coding the AI, because it's someone who coded that AI, and that AI is going to take his job, right? But yeah, this is the insight I wanted to share with you. Then if you have more questions about technology and such, I can answer. But like I said, like, it's a scary world out there. And in 5 years, it's gonna be even crazier. If you use social media, you might not distinguish an AI-generated video or image from a real one. That's another part that is scary. People can use your video, your image, and put it in some insane scene without you knowing. That happened, and that person was suing the person who did that, right? So it's scary in terms of the access that the level of intelligence that AI has and what people are using it for. And right now, you don't even need to be in college to use it. You can use it at your advantage. If you're big on social media, you can use AI to do everything without you showing your face. If you like doing YouTube stuff, you don't have to appear on the video. Just use AI to generate everything. From the script, from the voiceover, from the images, from the videos, everything. And if you like money, like the doctor said, that's another field to consider, even if you go into college. People don't understand that YouTube itself is a business. It's a career. I know a doctor, he studied for 7 years. He was working as a doctor. He started a YouTube channel. He left that job, that medicine, that doctor job, and he went full-time on YouTube. I know people who just take YouTube like as a business, and it is as such. They produce good quality content to keep people on the platform, right? Retain them. They make a lot of money from different type of sources, and you can do it with AI. You don't have to like spend thousands of hours. Just do some AI automation, and then you can have it done. Anyways, hopefully that was not too long. There's more. If you ask more questions, I can add to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our panelists. We actually do have a couple of questions that rolled in. Due to us being short on time, we're gonna kind of have to do a speed round on the questions. I have them projected here on the two TVs, but I will also read them out loud since it's kind of hard to view. We have about 50 minutes left, so if possible, if we can keep the answers to the questions as concise and answered as quickly as possible, that'd be awesome. So for our first question, it is in regards to finance. The question is, how can one use a trust?
First of all, anyone who wants to open a trust, my best advice is for you to sit down with a financial advisor to do that. Now, it depends on what type of trust it is. There are people that instead of just giving things or putting things under their kids' names, they open a trust and they put everything through it, and then whenever the kid, they have someone to manage the trust as a trustee, and whenever it's time for the kid to benefit from it, of course, they can do that. Instead of having individual things and investments, they just put everything together under a trust. Now, a trust, so I will say speak to an estate planner to do that. Now, in the firm that we worked, the financial advisors, they were not the ones who handled trusts. You have estate planners as well that do that. But that's just part of financial planning in general, but this is more of a specific question. There are different types of trusts. I don't want to go into details right now. So I will leave that there. So, but even for business, there are assets. When you own them, it's better for you to just put everything under a trust, because from some legal standpoint, there are some things that cannot be touched if they are in a trust versus just owning the asset outright. So there are just too many in and outs on this one. If someone wants something specific to this, you could sit down with me and tell me what specific interests you have with that, and then I will help. Otherwise, you could sit with an estate planner to help you set up a trust and manage it.
Thank you very much. The next question is in regards to information technology. The question is, how do I prepare in high school to get a computer science degree?
So I'm going to start first, so that way the most experienced infotech engineer can finish it off. What I can say is, even for people even in middle school, I would say if you have an interest in computer information technology, although when Sister Lori asked those who are in technology, I only see just the brothers. I highly encourage more sisters to join IT. One thing that I noticed in that field is the girls are very detail-oriented, and that's one of the very important traits to have in IT, to pay attention to detail. So you never know, you might go into IT and you might love it. But to answer that question is, I would encourage kids. There's a website called Code Monkey, where you can go on there and you can start learning how to code Python. It's very user-friendly. They created like a game. So you think that you're playing a game, but yet you're learning how to code. And this is just a beginning to it. Another thing that I would recommend someone else to do is, because something that you love, you create a passion for it, right? So you could be on YouTube, instead of watching a video of something that's not gonna be any useful to you, you can learn how to build a computer. You can learn the different types of technology that they're using in the bank, because the technology is the one thing that touches every sector. If you wanted to be a doctor and you don't want to go to school for 14 years to become that specialized doctor, but you want to be in a hospital, technology can do it for you. You want to work for McDonald's because you love the burgers, technology can do that for you. You want to be in a school environment, but you don't want to be a teacher, technology can do that for you. You want to be in the financial sector, but not have a finance degree, technology can do that for you. Because currently Patrice is working for MMT Bank. They're one of the biggest banks right now. But he's not a banker. He doesn't have a degree in finance. Technology can do that for you. So there are different things that you can do. You can start with a certificate, like an A+ certificate to get your foot into the water. But internship would be my next thing, like wherever you can find some internship, whether it be paid internship or non-paid. But once you go there, it's a wealth of knowledge that you can grasp from everyone in there.
I can add a couple of things to that. So first, we need to understand the difference between information technology and computer science. So information technology, it's the broader umbrella. So it's everything that got to do with managing data information, right? Your spreadsheet, there was a software created, Excel, right, that helps you to manage your spreadsheet, which has information, right? Or you manage information with that. So anywhere there's information that needs to be managed on the computer, this is information technology. Now, computer science, and some people get computer science and computer engineering confused. So computer engineering is all hardware. So how does the hardware work, like the computer work? The board, all the peripherals and everything. And it doesn't have to be like the desktop computer, it could be any type of CPU or board that processes data. So it could be in a switch, there is a software in there because they need to manage data, right? So that's hardware. Now, if you're talking about computer science, it's more on the software side and on the engineering side in terms of like, if I take data science or AI or machine learning, these are still within the computer science umbrella, but also inside that you have software engineering, meaning how do you write a software, how do you test a software, how do you deploy a software, how do you make it available to someone. So this is the kind of the hierarchy, information technology, and then you have computer science and computer engineering side by side, and within computer science you have software engineering, okay? Now, how do you prepare for that? First, you need to be someone who's interested in technology, I would say. Because if that's not a center of interest for you, it's going to be hard for you to like break into computer science, okay? And you have to be logical, meaning when I mean logical, it's not being not crazy, but like being a logical person, not more like an emotional person, meaning you like doing logic. If you see yourself like talking with people and trying to use logic a lot, you might have a good chance in computer science, because what is a computer? It's logical board. It's either 1 or 0 and multiple conditions like that. So if you see yourself like being really logical, like sometimes people have hard time with you because you're trying to get too much in the details, so you might have a chance in computer science. Beside that, if you love math, right, that's a good thing. Not just do math because you have to do it, but you love doing math. That's a good thing. Now, if you also like statistics, that might help you, especially with AI or machine learning or data science or data analytics, because these are mostly on the data analysis part, and you have to code, but not a lot when you're doing this. It's more, you do most of the coding on the software engineering part. But if you like playing with data, if you like playing with spreadsheets, you understand all those functions, and you like statistics, you like math, you are a logical person, and this might be a sign that you're a good candidate for computer science. Does that help?
I have a follow-up question to that. There are certain certifications online, like Google offers some. How, in terms of preparing oneself, if you can't go to college yet while you're in high school, or if you don't have money to do something of a higher learning, how useful are those, like for data analytics that Google offers? How useful is that certification if you were to do that? Does that lend you a job, or?
Yeah, there are jobs in data analytics, and if I were to like tell someone to go in computer science, like encourage you to go to computer science, I would encourage you to go on the data side, like data analysis and data science, because with this, you are feeding the AI with data. You're trying to train the AI. So instead of just like relying on the AI or let the AI take your job, you're just feeding the AI, try to train the AI in that sense. Now, there are some certification online about data analysis. It might be a good way to get your foot at the door, but I don't see like a company just to hire someone like just because you did a certification about data analysis. you might have to go deeper in that sense. Those certifications, they just scratch the surface, but you can go so deep in data analysis, and after that you can branch out into data science, because data analytics is just like, let's say you're good with Excel and things like that, you can analyze the data, you can put graphs together. But when you're talking about data science, it's not only interpreting the data, but you have to predict, like understand the data to predict trends, like to predict things. So that goes more with what is it called, like statistics. Like statistics is like provision, right? So it's deeper, but you can start with data science, data analytics, get a certification, see if you like it. It might take you a few weeks to get it. If you like it, you can just go. But I don't see a company hiring someone with a simple certification in data analysis, or data analytics, especially now that AI can almost do the whole thing for you. So yeah, you might have to go deeper in data analytics and data science.
So real quick, I just want to add something real quick on that. All that Brother Patrice said on the data analysis part is 200% correct. But like, I'm gonna take a different approach to it, because like he said, information technology is the top of the food chain, and everything else falls in between, where you find computer science and all these other fields within IT. So if you have someone here who's interested in IT, and let's say, because not everybody love to go to school for 2 years college or 4 years college, and that's okay. I'm not gonna say that in order to be successful, you have to have a bachelor's degree, you have to have a master's. Is it ideal? Is it preferred? Yes. But like, if you find yourself in that gap year where you don't know where to go, there are certifications right now that can land you a job. Like, you can get an A+ certification that you can take it in a couple weeks. There's a Security Plus. If you think you have it for cybersecurity, but you don't know yet, go get a Security Plus. That you can take a few months to study that, and then you can get an entry-level job with that. There's a CCNA certification that you can take, that you can be making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 right now without a bachelor's degree. That's good money if you ask me. So there are things that you can do, obviously, to start going into the area that Patrice is talking about. That requires a high level of education. But like, there's always a stepping stone. So don't feel like if you can't be on that level, there's no career for me in IT. There could be a career for you in IT, but you just have to start with the smaller certifications and then walk your way up there.
Thank you so much for answering the question. As we know, we have about 30 minutes left, and we have around 20, I think, we have about 17 more questions. So if possible, if we could do a bit more of a speed round, about a minute and answer. If we're able to answer in a minute, we'd be able to answer all the questions, but I do understand it can get pretty technical. As you know, we're all passionate about our fields. So this is another question for informational technology. Should you pursue a computer science degree if you aren't good at math?
Yeah, I would say no. This is the reason, not the reason you think of. Like, math is not just like giving an input, having an input and having an output. It's the process. So learning math is the process. Like, there is some classes about logic in computer science. help you understand, like come up with logics, because when you're gonna be in computer science, it's most likely you're gonna be like if you're coding, it's just like you gotta be logical, like it's logic you're doing. This and this, or this, else this. So this is logical, right? Now, it doesn't require to be like a genius, right, in math, but you have to understand math, even if you don't love it, but at least have a decent level in math. Some areas in computer science you might have to do a lot of math, especially like if you're going to like areas like finance. There are some algorithm you might need to put together. It's math, so you need to add this, subtract this, or do some in integral, right, stuff like that. But it's not that you have to have math. Like you're not gonna be doing math all the time. So I'm not doing math all the time, but the way that math works your brain, that's what you need. It's just like you have a calculator, right? But you still need to learn how to do 1 plus 1. It's not because you cannot pull the calculator and do it. It's because what it does up here, you need the process. Right now, AI can write a very good essay for you. So you don't need to do essay anymore. You need the essay because it helps you with critical thinking and your thinking. So see it like that. All those things that you're learning in college or in school, they're not just tools. They're just formatting your brain. And if you can go through math, it's gonna format your brain in a way that's gonna help you a lot with computer science, especially if you're gonna go in the field of that is data heavy. So if you don't like math, maybe don't go in computer science. Maybe you can still do computer engineering, right? Which is just with softwares, and, with hardwares and things like that. Or you can do with CCNA, right? I studied that process when I was in Haiti, but when I came here, I said, I don't like working with hardwares, with switch and things like that. I like just coding, so I didn't go with that. And yeah, in short, if you don't like math, if you're not good in math, there might still be space for you in computer science, but not in data heavy, like high processing things.
All right, thank you so much. So to get things moving a little more efficiently, we're gonna have a little timer on. It's not gonna be on the screen, but it'll be on the platform. And for the next question, we have towards law. The question is, what are the steps to becoming a lawyer, and what can I do to prepare now as a teenager?
Can you guys hear me? Okay, so I would say once you get to undergrad, you want to make yourself presentable. And what I'm saying as to that is not only to focus on just good grades, but internships, community service, extracurricular activities. You want to be an attractive candidate to these law schools. And they want things that, stand out, because on top of the grades and everything that you do, they're gonna ask you to submit essays. They wanna know about you. They wanna know what your future goals are. So these are things to start thinking about. Also, when you're meeting with important people, think of letter of recommendations, because those are also gonna be things you have to submit when you're applying for like law school. So those few things I would suggest.
Like what degrees you think someone should get into if you have a future for law?
So for that, any degree is acceptable, but I would say focus on a degree that Any degree is acceptable, but I would say focus on a degree that will make you money. You want to think smart here, because when you're going to law school, it's going to be hard to try to work in law school. So if you can have like a degree in finance, you know, tax season comes around and you might be able to do some taxes, or if you have like your CNA, RN certificates, that's something you could do on the downside as part-time, because you can make a little money on the side. I've seen some of my colleagues do it, so just think smarter in the degrees that you're actually going to spend all your time in.
The next question is in regards to law as well. The question is, what type of law do you practice and how did you decide?
I practice criminal law. Growing up, I watched... No, actually... No, I watch a lot of like 48 Hours. I watch Snap. I watch Killer Couples. Like, there's a lot of things that I watch. And so I already knew criminal law was going to be it for me. I just turned what I liked into a passion. That's it.
The next question is in regards to finance. When saving your finances, what could I do to not spend more than I need to?
Budgeting is the one-word answer. A budget is essential in order to have stable finances. Now, you have to have everything written down to the last dime. You have to know where every dollar goes. Now, once you know that, then you have to live below your means. Because it's not just about putting numbers. So one of the rules that we used to have in the firm, if you are getting paid a certain amount of money, let's use $100,000 for an example. As Christians, you have your part, you put aside God's part, okay? Let's say you put 10% aside. Now you have 90% remaining. But even before the 10%, Uncle Sam takes his portion, of course. Now, out of you have your net income remaining. From the net income, you take 10% out. I always advise my clients to take 20% of their net income to put toward themselves, to invest it into themselves. That has to do with your emergency savings. That has to do with anything that has to build your finances, investments, etc. And then you take 60 to 70% of your income. This is what you budget. Your expenses, your bills, and everything you want. So this is how you break down your budget. Now, once you have that, it's not, a lot of people have a budget, but they don't track. If you have it and you don't track, you haven't done anything. So when talking about saving, if you don't have a budget, you will always end up spending 110%, sometimes 120% of what you bring in. You bring in $3,000, and then you spend $4,000 every month. So it all starts with budgeting and having a smart budget, and within that budget, live below your means, meaning a lower percentage of what you bring in. Consider that your budget. If you are bringing in a certain amount of money, and then you're living in a zip code that is beyond, that makes you spend more, maybe you need to reconsider your zip code. The car you drive, it may cause you to be spending more than you need to. So, but all of that comes with understanding your budget, creating one, and deciding to follow it. If you need more help, I can help you on the side.
The next question is in regards to software engineering. Do you recommend attending hackathons?
Hackathon was something that was really appealing at some point before they democratized AI. Actually, it was really interesting because some people were getting in the field and making more money than people who've been in that field for a long time, because they just learn the new technologies and what the startups and companies are looking for, and they get in the door. You can still do that if you have real connections and networking to get in the door, but with the AI revolution, there is so many apps that you can use, or a tech founder can use as a startup founder to build their thing. They're not gonna really hire you, but still, it is small. There are still chances. If you are well connected, you can still get in the door. That's it.
Next question is in regards to information technology. What is some advice you would give for those going into the IT field?
So some advice I would give to someone going into the IT field is, first of all, grow a passion for it. So start learning technologies, mess around with computers, and break it, try and fix it, and also, while in college, do a lot of internship with companies, IT companies per se, that way you can do a lot of learning on the job without having the responsibility of an employee. So internships, some certifications will be ideally, but also grow a passion for the field.
Yeah, when you say IT, it's too broad. I don't know which section is you're interested in, because there's, like we said, there's the physical part, the hardware part, and there's the virtual or data and information part. But either way, there are plenty of opportunities in IT, because it touches every industry, like finance, education, military, and every place where you need a computer, you need software, you're gonna need a software engineer or a computer science guy. So that's one of the reasons I selected that path. I like computer, even though I didn't have computer until I was like probably 17. And I started really getting interested in computer science or fascinated by computer when I started hanging out with Caleb Joseph. And if you remember, Pastor Lionel had a company, I think it was, I don't remember the name. He had a school where he was teaching, or he had people teaching computers. And I was friends with Caleb, and then I had the opportunity in some spare time to like use some of the computers. So it's not too late if you are old and you don't, like, not an expert in computer, but if you can develop that passion for anything technology, not just computer, you might have a chance in that field.
All right, we had submitted a question for concerning the law, and it was, please explain the youth how to make good friends, because some of the friends can make them criminal without a criminal, even if they're not a criminal, and then explain to them how to live without trouble.
Okay, that's a loaded question. We do. I would say trust your gut. You're going to meet a lot of people. When you start to realize that someone doesn't align with some of the things that you align with, I think that's a first indicator, right? But then when you start noticing things that they do that you don't agree with, or that is against the law, I think that's like the big red flag that, hey, this is not someone I should be associating with, that I think differently, like I don't have nothing against you, but I just don't feel like we align. And that's fine. What was the second question?
The second question was how they can become a criminal without a criminal. Like, how can you be around the wrong influence?
So when you get pulled over by, I guess, law enforcement, right? You have to think these are just police officers doing their job. And like I said earlier about, hey, who do you associate with? Sometimes, for example, in my field, there's 2-3 people in the car, but someone's doing drugs, right? When law enforcement takes everyone out the car, they're not thinking, oh, this drugs belong to this person or that drug they're thinking, okay, I have drugs here, no one's gonna confess to it. Maybe someone might confess, but if no one's going to confess to it, then everyone's going to jail, right? So to kind of avoid that situation, think smart about who you're hanging out with. But then also, I would say think wisely. I don't want you to say, go ahead and confess to law enforcement. You do what's right in that situation. But definitely, I think you should think before you act. That's the thing. Think before you act, because every action does have a reaction, and some reactions are actual consequences. So.
The next question is also in regards to law. The question is, given the high cost of law school, do you feel the investments pay off financially? And is the career worth it in terms of personal fulfillment, lifestyle, and work-life balance?
Okay, so during undergrad, I think that's the time to first apply early. So whenever you're going to apply, definitely work on your LSAT. Your LSAT scores matter. The higher your LSAT, the higher your GPA, that combination, the more scholarship money there is. During the early months, so like August, September, October, this is the time to start looking for scholarships. And some of the schools actually post scholarship website. I went to FAMU Law, so I know that they had scholarships posted on their website. So definitely be active during the early months. What was the second part? Oh, it's up there. Wow. Is a career worth it in the terms of personal fulfillment, lifestyle, and work-life balance? So it depends on the area of law that you go into, and also where you live. So, of course, I practice criminal law in Orlando. And with Orlando, it has a high rate of criminal activity. So, my work-life balance can be a little challenging, but because I love what I do, it's not like I'm running for the hills all the time. My lifestyle, I definitely travel. I definitely eat what I want to eat. I do make time in my own schedule, so life is how you make it. You gotta realize the money that you have. Each type of law comes with different types of salary. If you're good with budgeting and figuring out how to make the money work for you, you can definitely live the lifestyle you want.
The next question is in regards to software engineering. Do you think a Google certificate for cybersecurity would help get a foot in the door for cybersecurity?
I don't think so. In my opinion, I don't think so, because cybersecurity is more involved or deeper than just a certificate. You can spend like 4 years, you're still just scratching the surface. Because there's so many threats, there's so many ways people are trying to get into a company, there's so many softwares, there's so many technologies you need to understand. And quite frankly, in almost every field, I don't know about law or education, like when you get out of the door, you don't know much. Like, you don't know much about what's going on inside. You just know like the generic things, and then when you get inside, that's when you're gonna understand. Oh, there's all those things going on, and then that you're trying to understand as much as you can. I would say that that's probably why I succeeded in my career. Was it's not because I learned everything in Haiti, and when I came here, the technology that I was using at my job, I didn't know everything about it. I had to learn it in 2 days to go for the interview. So you have to know how to learn. If you know how to learn, when you go into a company, you're gonna grab things really fast, and that's how you're gonna succeed. Not because you come out of college and you know everything. You don't know anything. You're gonna learn on the field, and you have to really be able to learn really fast. So for cybersecurity, I encourage people to go in cybersecurity because this is a growing field. There's more threats going, and people will there's gonna still be bad guys trying to steal people's information or get into companies. So it's growing. So go in there, but not just with a certificate.
Next up for law. If someone is still uncertain about going to law school, do you think working as a paralegal first is a good way to explore the field before making that commitment?
Honestly, I would say in that area of study, try to find an attorney that's in the practice area that you like, and ask if you can shadow or do internships. That way you can see what their day-to-day is like and see if that's something that is for you. It definitely gives a good insight because you know you. So if you know you're not someone who wants to be in court all the time, then maybe you don't want an area of law that requires you to be in court. If you know you're good with papers and being behind a desk, then maybe transactional law is for you. So definitely shadow, internship, maybe go to the courthouses too and look at the attorneys actually in the courtroom and get a feel for that. Also, in law school, there's going to be, I'm gonna call it legal training. It's like in-house courses that basically have you go be an attorney, like under somebody else's license. So you could do that, but your law school will have more of the information.
Our next question is in regards to finance. Should I open an IRA or a Roth IRA? What is the difference between the two accounts?
I want to preface by saying I no longer hold my license, so I cannot give you financial advice. Okay, I'm on live stream. But I will give you the educational approach between an IRA and a Roth IRA. It's an individual retirement account. That's what both are. And it's usually for when it's time for you to stop working, for you to have some money to spend during your retirement years. Now retirement is at 67. I believe they keep bringing it up. Now, Roth means it's you use investment dollars. You use dollars after you pay taxes to invest into that retirement account. The traditional IRA is before you pay taxes. You use those dollars to invest into the account. There are advantages and disadvantages. There are people that have both. Because when you open just a traditional IRA, you don't pay taxes on the money right away. So from your paycheck, the money goes straight, you haven't paid taxes yet. That means you're gonna be paying taxes in 20, 40, 60 years. Ask yourself this, are taxes going to be much higher in 40 years than they are now? Then you make that decision. If you think taxes are lower now than they're going to be in the future, then you might want to pay your taxes now, open the Roth IRA, and then later on, when you're withdrawing money, taking distribution from your Roth IRA, you don't have to pay taxes anymore at that moment because you already paid taxes on the money. That's the difference. The Roth, now they have Roth 401k too. So it's just what tax advantage you want to have. Pay taxes on my investment now or later. Another thing about those retirement accounts real quick, it's for retirement. Especially in our community, I see a lot of Haitians open 401ks. After 3 years, they pull the money out to go buy something. That's not the right use for this. As a matter of fact, before age 59 and a half, if you take the money out, there are penalties. There's a 10% penalty you have to pay because you used the money before 59 and a half. And then on top of that, any capital gain, that meaning money you earn on that money, if you withdraw it, you have to pay taxes on those capital gains as well. So make sure that when you are putting money into retirement accounts, it's money for the future, not for now. And sit down with your financial advisor to see, based on your tax preferences, do you want to spend pay taxes now or at a higher rate in the future?
The next question is also in regards to finance. Is there a way for me to have someone else invest for me in a way similar to a 401k with less contribution limits?
I am not sure what it means with less contribution limits, but 401k are employer-sponsored retirement plans. And every year they have different limits. So there's a maximum amount of money you are allowed to contribute into that retirement account. Last I knew it was $19,500 per year maximum you can put into your 401k. Now maybe more this year, I haven't checked the numbers. But that's the maximum. Now, when it comes to 401k, there are employers that match dollar for dollar, whatever you put in. If you put 3% into your 401k, they put 3%. Doesn't mean that's the maximum you're able to put, but for that employer, that's the maximum they would match. There are some that match half of whatever you put in. Now, if you are able to maximize your 401k account, kudos to you. That's even better, right? But before you do that, make sure you have your emergency savings fully funded first, because you don't want that if there's an emergency, you have to go to credit cards or you have to go back into your investment, pull money to take care of emergency. So before you go ahead and try to max out your 401k account, make sure there are other things as financial blocks you have first, and then you can start maxing out if you have extra income. Okay? And beside 401ks, you also have the contribution limit for Roth IRA. I think now it used to be $6,500 per year. So about $500 to $600 maximum per month you could contribute into an IRA. Whereas 401k, the maximum is like $19,500. So these are the different contribution limits. There are different kinds of accounts, especially if you're working in the education sector. There's like there are some other ones. I forgot some of they're just called differently. No, not the tiers. I know for Florida, for example, the Florida FRS is one of them. They have 407, 403B. Those different types of retirement accounts with this, they have their different contribution limit. So check with your job. But the 401k has the highest at $19,500. But once again, don't max that out before you take care of other things, because investments are supposed to be for the future. You need your savings first.
The next question is also another one in regards to finance. The question is, what is the job market in favor for in Tampa, Florida? What does the job market look like in these two areas?
Florida. Like I said at the beginning of my presentation, there are some markets that favor finance degrees even more than Florida. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. But if you know that you want to go into finance, you need early on to start getting into internships, going to networking events, because there are financial officers, there are recruiters that are there looking for people. Depending also on which area of finance may help you get a job easier. So there's accounting, there's finance, there's a lot of accounting jobs open right now. You could be a junior accountant, you can be a staff accountant, even without having a degree in accounting. If you have a degree in finance, you could still do some accounting work. Maybe you cannot start at a big finance job, but you could start as an accountant, and you prove your worth. Yes, sir. And then you prove your worth, and then you could transition to other jobs. But it's really hard to find big finance jobs just out of the gate because they always require 7 to 10 years. So that's why you have to build your experience from a lower staff level early on. Brother Patrice, want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to add something really quick, not only for finance, but for any career. Social media is really important, especially professional social media. When you take a LinkedIn, it's a gold mine, but people are not using it, or professionals are not using it the way they should use it. It's a search engine, meaning people or recruiters, they're gonna go there and look for people. They're gonna put keywords. If you're in finance, there are some keywords they're gonna type, and if your profile comes up, they might take a look at what you have on your profile and contact you. That means you need to have a really optimized profile on LinkedIn. So if you are gonna be in the job market, or before that, like if you have some interest in some areas, start posting information about it. Like go to ChatGPT, format something, post it so that when people are typing those keywords on LinkedIn, maybe an article that you wrote comes up and they say, oh, this guy, and then maybe they might be interested in you. This is really important if you want to get a job in any field. Leverage LinkedIn, because I get so many like DMs from professionals like recruiters and trying to recruit me just because I post a lot on LinkedIn or I make my stuff public on LinkedIn. So that's really important.
That's awesome. And just to follow up with that in just a few seconds, there was a time I was looking for a finance job, and my resume was not tailored to the job I was looking for. That's another advice for young professionals today. The application tracking system. A lot of times there are hundreds of applicants applying for the same job. So it's really hard to get in. Now, if your resume is not tailored, before you apply for a job, I've come to understand, you gotta make sure that you look at the job description that you're applying for and modify your resume, tailor it to include some of those keywords that Brother Patrice is talking about. Because if AI doesn't see some of those words from your resume, you won't even get a chance for a manager to see your application. It will automatically get dismissed. So if you're applying for a job in finance or any sector, make sure that your resume is tailored to the job that you're applying. And then on top of that, do some networking to find a manager that could at least pull your resume or your application and review it themselves, and then you will get an interview based on merit. Because otherwise, it's just gonna fall through the cracks.
Thank you very much. We're almost done with the questions. With the next few in regards to law, do you work with the DA or do you work as a public defender?
I work for the state attorney, so I'm a prosecutor. Yeah.
The next question is, please share some advice you have for anyone seeking a career in criminal law. What is one thing that has helped you cope with the hardships of working with criminals?
Sorry, I'm also working the timer against myself. Let's go with the last one. What is the one thing that has helped me cope with the hardships of working with criminals? From what I see on a day-to-day, it's hard to talk to like family and friends about my job. So I do rely on my coworkers because they understand what I'm going through. They understand what's happening and the evidence and everything that we have to look at. I do recommend, probably seeing a therapist if that is for you. Because they have a type of privilege that when you speak to them about the things that you see, like they can give you some of the tools to help cope with some of the challenges and hardships when working with criminals. Because I understand they made a mistake, and a lot of them, they make a huge mistake, but they're people too, so each situation is different. And then I'll start another timer for myself again. Please share some of the advice you have for anyone seeking a career in criminal law. I would still go piggyback on just do an internship, even volunteer, just to see if you can stomach with some of the things that you will have to see. Each department is different. In my office, we have county court. So county court does with misdemeanors and traffic. There's felonies that ranges from 3rd degree, 2nd degree, 1st degree. There's sex crimes, and I know it says sex crimes, but those are basically people who get sexually assaulted. There's there is homicide, and of course that means someone has died. There is there's like a financial, I forgot what they're called. They deal with white collar stuff. They deal with a lot of like money and paper. So there's different sections within the office. Oh, last thing. Also think if you want to be a prosecutor or a defense attorney. It just depends on what you're passionate about. I know I heard a lot of oohs and ahs of what I do, but some people don't realize the actual benefit that my job as a prosecutor does, because at the end of the day, we're the one who does the recommendation. We are the one who decides whether someone is pleading out to like a felony or a misdemeanor. So there's impact that can be done on the other side that defense attorneys don't get to do, because at the end of the day, I'm the one who makes the offer. They negotiate with me. And so if based off of reading the facts and all the information, I basically have kind of like the final say-so as to the resolution of that case, if the defendant decides to accept my offer.
And one more question for Ms. Lewis. The question was, what does your day look like as an attorney?
Okay, another timer. Is this the last question?
There's 2 more.
Okay, I just
want a question for you though.
Okay, I'm just putting myself back on a timer. My day-to-day, I'm in court a lot. So basically it can range from 8:30 till about 12. Each day is different. So between 8:30 and 12 are normal times for me to be in court. 12 to 1, I like to take my lunch. 1:30 till the rest of the day, it's either depositions. So basically, defense attorneys like to take some of my witnesses, put them under oath, ask them questions about what's going on with the case to see if they're a true witness, to see if they know anything about what's happening. And I also prepare for the next day. Each day is different. I can go from handling maybe 1 case on one day and then about 100 cases the next day. So everything is different.
Our next question is for Mr. Clado. What does your day-to-day look like as a software developer?
for me, it varies depending on the workload for the day. But normally I wake up around 7, I walk the dog, we have a dog, and then sometimes I drop my daughter to school, or my wife does, depending on our activity for the day, and then I go back. Normally I start my day around 9 a.m. Before 9 I do breakfast, eat something, or work on my own stuff before I start. When I start, it's basically it's gonna be me checking what I have for the day in terms of, is there new development, is there some bugs to fix. Then we have meeting at 10:30, which is what we call the daily stand-up meeting, which should last normally 15 minutes, but it goes around 30 minutes. We go around what needs to be done, give an update on my progress, and if I'm blocked somewhere, do I need help with something, if I need the business to clear up some of the tasks that we have. Then after that, if there's no meeting, I just focus on my work. Sometimes it's preparing documentation, preparing design, or coding something. It depends. So I don't do all day like coding. Sometimes it's just like designing what the solution gonna be in terms of what's connecting with what, and talking with people, with my manager or business if I have to clarify some stuff. Then after that, some meetings. Then by 5 or 6, depending on the day, I'm gonna done, and I go do my own stuff. So that's pretty much it.
And our last question is directed towards Pastor Leonard. The question is, how do I get myself out of the cycle of addiction? I may not want to, but unable to. I may not want to. I
want to get out of it, but I'm unable to.
I got it. Addiction is a serious matter. There is a company called Pew Research Center. That company made a study and report that 97% of people from 13 to 17, they spend about 9 hours on the social media, whereas those between 8 and 12, they spend 6 hours on the social media. You could be addicted and don't even realize that you are. So if you realize that you are addicted and then you want to get away from the addiction, 2 things I can tell you. First of all, you can talk to your pastor. That's very important. And second of all, if you need some resources, you need some help, we got those companies who offer free consultation. I will give you the website, psychologytoday.com. After you put this website, you press on Find a Therapist, and then they will ask you for your zip code, and then you add your zip code. I just tried it for this area, which is 34 to 47, and I found 12. We are available to give you free consultation. So that's easy, that can help you to get out of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oops, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you go ahead.
I'm sorry. To piggyback on what Pastor just said, in regard of the use of the social media on teenage, it's become a law now in New York City, where I live. In school, the kids not allowed to use their phone. That's how bad the education system going low. So they realize it after they do a lot of surveys and everything. So they realize it's not really good for the kids. So, and before teachers was complaining about the kids cannot learn because of the use of it. And but in New York City, you cannot really take something away just like that. Some parents were against it at first. They said, well, they need it. They need to be in contact with their kids, a lot of things. But after they do a lot of research and they realize, okay, the school system is going too low, the kids can't really learn, and COVID was taking a toll on them. And now it's like everybody has a problem. So in school, like, I don't know for Florida, but in school they have a lot of mental health issues that they have to include them in the school system right now. Every school should have a mental health person. They need to have a social worker and everything just because of social media. So to help with that, one of the best things they're doing starting next year, no phone in the classroom. No phone, not even in the classroom, in school. There's no phone going to the school. So when I told the kids, I'm so happy they're doing you a favor. It was like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I do, because you can't learn. And then, so I don't know what they do here, but we take it seriously over there. And like Pastor's saying, if you guys feel like you are in it too much, because it's really the hard thing that I believe parents can do to a kid, pick up their phone. So before it was like, okay, when to say something before that, I remember when my kids used to go to school, not a few years back, my son, believe it or not, I gave him his first phone when he was graduating high school. And he was so mad. And at that time, not too long ago though, but that time they only have, those were the only, not even the flip phone. The other one that you just put the numbers and answer. And he used to say, why I don't have a phone? I said, if you need me, go downstairs in the direction of the school, call me. I'm the only one to call you. So if I need you, I will come and pick you up. But if you really, really need me, I'm sure the school gonna call me. So that's when, and then when he graduated high school, I said, you can go now pick up your phone because now you're going to college. You're going to need it. You're going to be away from me. So you need it. So, but again, that helped him to succeed. So my daughter was a little bit happier because my son didn't have his flip phone, so she got heritage from that. Because she said, okay, I had my phone earlier. Then now she said, why you give us that? It's too late. But like I'm saying to you guys, yes, the phone is very useful, but use it properly. You can learn a lot of it. I think there's a lot of information given to you right now that you can use your phone to do a lot of good things. May God bless you.
I have a follow-up to that. So that's for the kids part. So we have to be very aware, conscious of what age we give a child a phone, number one. Number two, once they have the phone, it's not just giving it to them, because there's so much in that phone, they can lose themselves in it. Even us as adults, it's hard for us to navigate the amount of information that we have in our hands, let alone a child. So how do we set parameters when they are able to have a phone? How do we set parameters on how they can use it, number one? And number two, even after college, as an adult, if you find yourself into that cycle of addiction, maybe you're addicted, you don't even know it. Or maybe you realize you are addicted, but you don't know how to get out of it. How do you deal with those things? And then the last fold of that question is, I've also learned that when you sleep with the phone next to you, it may have some physical impact on you, the radiation, whether it's connected or not. So I don't know if we have some help people here, and then y'all could help us too, but how do we understand the danger, even the physical danger that those phones represent to us when they're always on us all the time? So there's a physical danger and there's also the mental danger, and how do we navigate all these things?
I probably going to say some, maybe you will add some more, because there is a technology thing about that. It's up to you as parents to know when to give a phone to a child, because they are exposed to two different things. First of all, the content in the phone, what they're going to be exposed to, that's very dangerous. And physically, like Brother just said, the radiant, the content, everything that these phones carry can damage the brain of a child. Some people allow child to have a phone by 8 or 10 years old, because early age is very dangerous for them to use even a computer, not just a phone. So now I think since the technology go that high and everybody knows about that, they need to make a wise decision to know when to give a phone to a child and when not to do it. So if you want to add something.
I'm going to add a little piece to that real quick. So the part of the phone that creates the radiation, it's not the phone itself. That's why when we had the flip phones back then, it didn't create radiations. So when you find modern phones, most of them have an LCD, which is a liquid display crystal. Well, liquid crystal display. But like that screen it needs a backlight. The backlight is what projects whatever you're seeing on the phone. So that backlight, which is an LED, that's what creates the radiation. So regardless if that phone is on or is connected or not, if the light is projecting, that creates that radiation. So now, that's why when you have it in your pocket, like some of you may have this experience, you have a phone in your pocket, and then it becomes so hot. Because the phone, even though the screen is turned off, it's still running. There's still, I'm gonna let Patrice touch that part because that's more like in the software part. Like there's so many things running in the background. And then oftentimes you take out the phone from your pocket, you see the light on the phone is on, like the screen is on. So how long has it been on inside your pocket? That's where the danger is. Because if there was a way to turn off the screen, then that would be helpful. But when you remove the phone from your pocket, it's hot and then you see the screen was already on. So it was already on in your pocket for the whole time. Sometimes you sleep on the phone, you're talking on the phone, you're sleeping. Every time your face touched the phone, the light could turn on. Because you're not holding it because you're sleeping. Because there's a sensor in the front of the phone, it's like a camera. When it's attached to your face, it's supposed to turn off the light. That's for safety. Well, when the phone drops down, the screen turns on. And when you lay on it, then all that, your body heat with the phone, because the phone needs air to breathe. And if it doesn't find that air to breathe, then that's when it turns really hot. And that can cause the physical damage to our body.
To add on to that, there are two parts in a phone when it comes to radiation. So the screen is one thing, and sometimes when you use the phone too much, you have trouble falling asleep. Why? Because of the screen. There's a radiation or a light, the blue light that comes from the screen. They have it there because they need the screen to be brighter and everything. So when you expose your iris too much to that blue light, it creates some problem for you to fall asleep. It's like it's keeping your brain like active, right? So this is one bad thing when you use your phone too much. Too much exposure to blue light. Sometimes people use special glasses, like my glass, because I work a lot on computer, and computer screens emit those blue lights as well. So I have special glasses that blocks those blue lights. So some people even sell those glasses online, like regular glasses, but that blocks blue light. If you can get one of them, if you use computer a lot or phone a lot, use that blocks that UV light, that blue light. That's one thing for, not only for your eyes, but also for your brain if you want to see. Second, the phone has an antenna in it, and you can see all those towers, right? All over the place, big towers. I remember I was working for Comcel, and in RF, we used to survey all those areas to see the level of signals that we have based on those towers. So those towers are impacting your brain as well, but the phone, especially when there is low level of signal, it's gonna try to reach an antenna, like it's gonna like emit more power. So, and then now that's gonna like impact your brain. And if you check your phone, if you have an iPhone, if you go to settings, I don't remember where they embed it, like it's like they put it so far you cannot, like, it's not on the surface, you can find it. In there, if you go to settings, there's about the phone, they tell you like it has to be a certain distance from your head, like within the phone itself. So that's why it's encouraged to not just always have your phone on your head like that. Use like a mic or something, headset. It's better, not like Bluetooth, but like a headset. Or if you're under a car, just use the car, because it's still emitting like some radiation to connect to those towers, and that's gonna impact your brain a lot. And there's a level of emission, how long you've been exposed to it, that can impact your brain. That's from a technology standpoint.
I heard that little kids, their brain take in more radiation because their skulls.
Yeah, it's softer.
It's softer. So a lot of babies that have phones in their hands, it makes it very hard. So parents need to be aware of that.
You mentioned something. You added a question earlier, like when do you give a phone to a kid, and what can you do? So the later you can like delay that, it's better. But if you have, I don't know for Android, but for iPhone, if you give your kid an iPhone, you can pair it with yours and control their phone. Like Carla has a phone, an iPhone, but I set up when the phone should just turn like a brick. She cannot use it because there's a screen time, and that's, boom, at 9 p.m., no phone. She cannot even use it. If she wants to do something, I have to put a password and just, okay, you can use it for 1 minute or 15 minutes. So you can control it. This is really important. You have parental control on those, even on social media or YouTube and everything. If you are a parent, just use parental controls on all those things so that you can manage the exposure to those things. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for our panel? Thank you so much. Please stand up. Thank you so much. And while we're at it, I know we're all pretty tired. So if you guys could all please stand up. Could you change the PowerPoint? Next slide. Just right click. It should be good. Up there is the address for the next location for the barbecue that we're gonna have. I know we're pushing our time, so thank you so much for bearing with us. We appreciate it. And for those who are interested with connecting with the professionals on the panel, please don't be afraid. Feel free to go speak to them afterwards, after we end. And then afterwards, you can head over for where we're gonna have dinner and barbecue and fellowship some more. Before we end, I would ask Pastor Edwige to please come up. Many of our youth have left already, so unfortunately they're not here right now. A lot of them are preparing, to the few of us that stayed to clean up. But we wanted to say thank you very much for all those who came today to participate in the youth formation. Honestly, it was an honor to host all of you guys. And to those that are leaving tonight, please drive safe. And to those that we'll see tomorrow during service, please be blessed and be ready to allow God to use you. And before we let go, I'll let Pastor have the final words in prayer.
Nous remercions bon Dieu for the privilege of your presence et surtout pour présence bon Dieu tout que nous sommes capables de sentir.
We thank God for the privilege of your presence and especially for the presence of God we felt throughout the day.
Nous sommes vraiment contents pour gagner avec nous.
We were truly glad to have you with us.
Certainement, moi connais gagner plusieurs bagailles qui pas tomber exactement Jean que vous voulez.
I know there may have been things that didn't go exactly the way you would want them to.
Mais à part un pile bon bagaille que nous recevons dans réunion ça.
But beside many of the good things that we've received during this meeting,
moi noter un pile l'autre bagaille tout cap cause que nous pral travail dans prochaine réunion pour nous capable servir mieux.
I have also notated different things that we can work on to serve you better next time.
N'a prié pour le Seigneur capable aider au kembe tout ça ou apprendre aujourd'hui.
I pray that the Lord can help you retain everything you learned today.
Et qui finalement le mettre en pratique capable aider au gain succès dans la vie.
Things that when you apply them, they will allow you to become successful in your life.
En attendant que nous rencontrions encore,
until we meet again,
nous allons prier le Seigneur pour le Seigneur capable de guider.
Let's just pray that the Lord may be your guide.
Entourez-vous par devant et par derrière.
Surround you in front of you and behind you.
N'a prié pour onction capable dans cœur.
Let's pray that His anointing be in your heart.
Et puis protection capable reposer sur.
That His protection can lay upon you.
Depuis kounya là.
From now
jusqu'à la fin du monde.
Until the end of the world.
N'a prié pour en pile dans nous-mêmes ça yo qui va gain pour quitter après-midi.
We'll pray as well for many of you who will be traveling back home.
S'il vous plaît, pas en écaler, mais participez dans le barbecue qui est préparé pour vous et puis après ça, on va aller.
Please stop by the address and eat with us, and then you can get on the way.
Nous remercions bon Dieu déjà et en pile pour panélistes.
We thank God for our panelists.
Et just awesome.
They were awesome.
Donc, on a prié pour eux.
So we're going to pray for them as
well.
Let us pray together. Let's lift our voice before the Lord. Heavenly Father.
Seigneur Dieu, au nom de Jésus. Au nom de Jésus. Nous venons dans la présence de ton Seigneur. Avec un peu l'action de grâce dans nous. Avec un peu de remerciement dans la bouche nous, mon Dieu. Pour présence que nous sommes capables de sentir. Et puis pour force que nous sommes capables de sentir, mon Dieu. Et vous-même qui c'est premier, et puis qui dernier dans la vie, nous, Seigneur. Et puis dans toute route là, nous sommes mon Dieu. Et nous lever, bien le message qui va nous déplacer pour aller la caillou après-midi, mon Dieu. Et la demande tous, Seigneur, pour présence capable dans la vie. Et pour présence capable dans la vie, si là, capable rester avec nous aujourd'hui, Seigneur. Merci, mon Dieu, pour panélistes qui est venu prendre temps pour partager expertise avec expérience avec nos jeunes gens, Seigneur, qui ont même pour prendre des décisions futures dans la vie. T'en prie, Seigneur, touché. T'en prie, Jésus béni. T'en prie, Seigneur, transformé. Parce que c'est au même mon Dieu qui a le pouvoir pour changer un Seigneur. Au nom de Jésus, Père, nous prions. Alléluia. Glory to God. Glory to Jesus. Béni soit l'Éternel. Alléluia, alléluia, alléluia. Amen. Que bon Dieu bénisse nous.
May God bless you
all. Que puissance, bon Dieu couvre nous.
May His power cover you.
Merci beaucoup parce que vous te prenez temps pour te venir adorer.
For taking the time and work